All right, we recording.
Okay, hi guys. So I decided today I was gonna put up a video about what I kind of referenced last video, but I'm not gonna do it because this week was so crazy and exhausting. My kids kicked my butt this week. I didn't get much done. And but I ended up deciding, then I was like, I'm gonna do my birth video, but then I just decided I'm just stressed, and me and my brother about to just kind of be each other's therapists, because I got a lot going on and he do too. So I was like, this is gonna be the video. So we in the car about to get something to eat and some smoothies maybe.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that's gonna be the video. So welcome to the conversation. We don't have no topics or anything. We literally this is gonna be the video because I want to make sure that I put something up every week regardless of how I'm feeling. And when I am not able to put something up, that's gonna be the conversation. So here we go. Anyway, so we at Chick-fil-A, and I was just telling him that this Chick-fil-A is the only Chick-fil-A I've ever been to that I feel like I'll be in a line for a long time, and they are ruining the Chick-fil-A.
Disclaimer, this is her personal opinion. I've never had an issue here. Ever in life.
My personal experience. It's not an opinion, it's my experience. And if y'all hear the wipers in the back, I don't know. It's raining a little bit here. But anyway, so can you grab my my purse out the back? Thank you. Anyway, let's get on this stuff. All this stuff in my back seat.
They can't even see that.
Oh, y'all can't see it?
Oh,
I just put you on blast for no reason. Sorry. Anyway, so I do want to. So my brother, we're together today because he got some relationship drama going on.
It's not drama. It's just
normal
life situation.
Exactly. True that.
But they always come when life is already happening.
But it's a part of life. It's no separation, you know.
I know, but it would be ideal if you could be good
and stay good.
And no, if one thing would just be wrong at a time. That's the ideal life. Just have to deal with one thing at a time.
That would be too much, like, right?
Shoot. There'd be so much happening at once that you can't get a hold of it. You be having to let some go. Some always falls through the crack. Whether it be relationship, whether it be finances, whether it be, spending enough time with the kids, like, something always falls through the cracks.
But I think that's the only way to become balanced. I think if everything is good, and not to say that I don't know, that's probably a warped perspective to have, like to always
have to go through stuff to be balanced. Yeah.
But is it I think it's just the reality. Like
I think life. Okay, this is what I was looking at today on learning to not let the external affect the internal. So whatever is happening on the outer side of you, you don't let it affect the inner person or your inner peace.
Where you hear that from? Like, where'd that come from?
I'll be looking at literally all type of stuff, from podcasts to YouTube stuff. Like, it just popped up today on I think I was on YouTube.
Do you remember, pause real fast, do you remember I told you I was going to write a book about, what is it? Not the balance, but y'all, we're going to have to pause because I'm going to order my food. Should we pause the video?
Hello.
Hi.
Can I get your name?
CJ.
Opening it for you.
May I have? What?
How would you tell her your name is CJ?
May I have the Cobb salad?
Okay.
All right. So anyway, I was saying I was going to. A long time ago, I said I was going to write a book about. The idea of the book was going to be how people try to separate biblical principles from like different mantras. They call it, different mantras that they live by. And they try to separate them, but I feel like they all have a biblical principle. Just like you just said, like, or don't let the external affect the internal.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's just like the same idea that you keep your focus on things that are like I forget what book it is. Paul, he says, focus on things that are lovely, that are pure, that are
Right.
this, that, and the third, and not your outside circumstances. It's kind of the same thing. But anyway, that was just a little, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Because people have been saying things that have biblical principle, but not the biblical way.
But then everybody don't read the Bible.
Yeah.
And then some people
Don't believe in it.
Yeah, some people read things that they be like, well, this predates the Bible, so the Bible got this from that.
Okay.
But I just think the whole thing is what I'm starting to get out of stuff like that, and just out of the Bible and other things that I read, is just that truth is true.
Right.
And whether somebody said it 2,000 years before the Bible or somebody said it
Yeah.
1,500 years after the Bible, like, truth is truth. And I still think it came from God regardless, whoever said it. Because people were
Agreed.
saying stuff before Jesus came, because Jesus wasn't always here. So God was still dropping things in people's spirits and giving them heavenly principles to use down here on earth. So
Okay. But anyway, so you was talking about, you brought the external, internal thing up
Mhm.
because you was talking about, you didn't even start talking about, what was you talking about?
you brung up my relationship. God, I ain't bring up.
I did. Well, because I feel like, first of all, I feel like it's important though, like, because you were just saying I need to talk to some married people.
Yeah, man, because this relationship stuff is weird. After it gets weird, man. Like, that's all I can say.
Agreed.
Relationships is weirdo stuff.
It's
Like,
weird because it's, you bring,
everybody has different little things about them that point blank they're not holding themselves accountable of.
well, I feel like that's a generalization. You can't say that, well, I don't know.
Everybody not just 100% I'm accountable for everything I do. Like, no, everybody has some about them that they think they don't do.
But they try to be accountable. I
Not
can't
everybody.
say. Yeah.
So
I think
I mean,
there
I'm
are
not
people who
I'm
are
not
accountable.
I'm not saying people aren't accountable. What I'm saying is people have a tendency, especially in relationships, when you have feelings and emotions and stuff packed into that, that they don't hold themselves accountable of, because whether they feel, hey, I get away with this because of something you did, or B, I'm just being me and you have to
Yeah.
accept that.
You're welcome. I think you did bring up a good point saying like it's because of something you did, but I think that sometimes it's like you be on the defense, like
Yeah.
even if sometimes, because there are some things that I know that I could and should hold myself accountable, but like you said, you feel, thank you.
Side note, I literally just told myself December 31st that I'm about to stop being on the defense and start being on the offense. Start making things happen.
Start holding yourself accountable?
Well, I guess so. Yeah, you can say that. Start instead of reacting, being more, like you just said, accountable for my actions and things, and getting my affairs in order, in a sense.
So how do you? So are you those people that you're talking about that is not holding yourself accountable?
I am, probably in some areas, yeah. I just said everybody has something that
Okay,
they
so
do.
how can't you extend the grace?
It's okay. So one thing to extend the grace, but at some
much.
point, it has to be a point of, hey, okay, I get what I'm doing, and even if the action doesn't change right away,
Acknowledging
it's
it.
acknowledging it, like, oh, my bad. You did say I always do that.
Yeah.
But when you continue after time and time again, and somebody being like, hey, you keep doing it, hey, you keep doing, hey, and then every time you either blow it off or you always try to downplay it, like, well, if you got that, then they push it on you. If you got that out of that, then I'ma just say I'm sorry, but I never meant that. Like, who wants that apology?
Right.
And it's not even you holding yourself accountable and seeing what you're doing. It's just like, all right, cool. I'm sorry. Now let me get my stuff off now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like there has to be, you would want there to be acknowledgement for sure. Because I think then it does become frustrating. You just get to the point where
Yes.
it's almost like you just waiting on your breaking point because you know it's coming.
And
You know
it's not like a waiting. It's just like, I know it's going to come because this
Yeah,
person still don't get it.
right.
It's like dealing with a bad kid and you out and you keep, hey, sit down. Hey, sit down, man. Hey, sit down. At some point, you're going to blow up. Like,
I keep telling you.
I keep telling you the same thing. You sit down, you act right for 2 seconds, and then you go back to your old self.
I will say that I feel like that is I guess I will say that's the only way, for me, rather, that I feel like a relationship has hope to be healthy. I think I chose my words wisely. And I say that because...
Are you saying what? The only way is accountability?
At least acknowledging
Yeah.
first,
Because
and then
if you
making your
can
way to being
if you can
accountable.
acknowledge it, then a person can be like, okay, I know they know what they're doing. It's just
Taking some time
it's
to
just a
adjust that
habit now that
right.
you have to get out of. But when you just always like, I don't see what you're saying. I don't get it. But if you said I did it, my bad. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, quick salad for you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
You too. Thanks. Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. What is the movie? Oh man! Oh, on Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle when Charlie Murphy was talking about, what's the guy name?
You talking about on what movie?
No, on Dave Chappelle show, Charlie Murphy was talking about the dude Rick James. And he kept saying Rick James, he's a habitual line stepper. Like, he continues to. That's how
remember that
people
part.
are in relationships, man. Sometimes, like, they be habitual line steppers. Like, they continue to cross that line in the sand and then act like they don't know what they're doing.
I agree, but I will say I think it all goes back to accountability. You have to take accountability because realistically, most relationships don't start off that way. There's something that happened in the relationship
For sure.
that caused that person, that got y'all rather to that point. Got the
But it's not
relationship to that
always
point.
you.
No.
Sometimes it's things that happened to them in the past
Yes.
that has nothing to do with you. It has
And it just
everything
showed up
from
in the
how they
relationship.
grow up, from their parents, the household they grew up in. Like,
Yeah.
of course, like, you have your stuff that you bring to the table, the stress and stuff that you bring to the table. But at the same time, everything isn't like,
One-sided.
yeah, everything isn't one-sided. Like,
But
some
that's why I
stuff is
say-
just internal stuff that they have to deal with that they don't want to deal with.
That's why I say I feel like the only way that a relationship has hope is for there to be acknowledgement of that stuff. Like, I know this is how I grew up. I know this is how I saw it. I know this is what I do. I know. And even if you don't come in like I know, and that person kind of, you know, the relationship uncovers that, just acknowledging it, and then growing to the point where you can say, all right, I did do that, you're right. I don't feel like it's gonna work. And even just if there were things that happen in the relationship that needs to be addressed,
right.
like all of those things have to happen in order for the relationship to be
Yeah.
healthy. And it's not going to happen if you don't have two people. Here it is. If you don't have two people
Right.
that are willing,
both working.
Yeah, that are both
Because
working.
even if one side is trying to do work on
Do their
themselves,
stuff.
and, like, you can't be positive for both people. You can't hold down the whole side of joy and hope on the relationship on your end. Like, it has to be both sides doing the work.
Y'all go check out, I have a video, my second video on my channel is this title, Why Are My Relationships Failing? And I talk about this in that video. Like, yes, you have to do your work. You definitely have to do your work. But that goes for each person. That goes for both people. Both people have to do
Exactly.
their work in the relationship, for sure.
And I've even had in my relationship, like, this person, like, make fun of, like, the work that I'm doing, in a sense, like, oh, you fake positive, you, like, every time we get to that point of an argument or something, then it's like, what happened to all the stuff you reading? Why you yelling? Why you? And it's almost like they take you to that point on purpose and then try to take jabs at you, like, oh, it ain't working, dude, it's not working, like.
Yeah. All I can say is,
It's almost like the same thing with being a Christian, where it's just like, as soon as you mess up, oh, I thought you was a Christian. Like, people will take you there just to see how far they can take you until you revert back to, like, habits that you have when you're trying to grow past those habits.
yeah, I agree with that. I feel like at that point, I guess it has to be a decision made on whoever's in, just like on your end, like, okay, this ain't going nowhere because this person refuses to.
I don't think it's that simple, though.
No, I'm not saying it's simple at all. But
Because, I mean, you could do that with you could do that with everybody, but at what point is there a commitment to be like, yo, we're gonna grow through this together, like, whatever, but we're not going to assassinate each other, like, the song, like, we're not gonna kill each other's character and stuff. We're gonna actually try to grow through this.
But you have to have two willing parties.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
I
that's
guess that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
If
I'm
the
saying,
other
so
person
if the
isn't
other
willing.
person isn't willing, if
You
you're,
gotta be willing and able.
you do though, like, if the other person had, and yes, no, for real,
And
because
what the
they got,
Bible say, God is willing and able to do things.
like, willing to do it and able to do it in the sense that you're mature enough, you are able, you're emotionally mature to be able to handle all of the stuff that because it takes digging into your past and
I think
facing.
it's the willing part with most people.
Yes,
I think
for sure.
most people are, if you're a human being, you're able to grow through things.
Yes.
You have to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the
I agree.
part that most people don't have, that, all right, I'm willing to put my pride and emotions and me trying to be right to the side, or me trying to make you look stupid to the side, to actually grow through this and hear what you're saying, and hopefully you hear what I'm saying.
I agree, because even sometimes when you, like, and I talked about this in my Why Are My Relationships Failing
Girl,
too.
quit.
I'm for real.
Shameless plugs.
I'm for real. I did. Even when you, okay, let's just say you and your partner, y'all acknowledge something and they say, this is what you're doing, and you finally be like, okay, I do see it, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to change immediately. It's not going to change
Right, 'cause
overnight.
it's
It's going
work.
to take time to, what's the word? Get rid of that habit. Like, it's going to take time to do that. But even if, so say y'all arguing, and then every time, because, okay, here's a prime example. I used to cuss. Like, in my arguments, I used to get mad and I used to cuss.
That's me.
And
And she hated.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Corey, he hates it. Like, he used to, because I don't do that no more, but he used to hate it. And so he's like that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work for me. And so when I would get mad, I would go right back to it, but then I would have to, even in that moment, be like, you know what? I apologize, because I did just go there, but, but just seeing that person actually trying to make that change. I mean, I think that's worth everything, because you can see.
Yeah. Okay, so I have an issue with that with me personally, because it's like no, because my thing is, this person, they continue to do everything that they do, but then it's like they want you to do all the changing, and then it's like, I'll change once you change. And it's like,
okay.
No, nigga, it don't work like that. I'm not about to sit here for a year and
But
you about to grill me.
Is that not pride?
That's not pride.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
because
not.
You can only be responsible for you. That person can say that they're going to change all they want to. You have to be responsible for making your changes, regardless of whether they're making their changes.
That is true.
And
okay.
Because you're not changing for them. Are we not? You're changing for the better.
You are.
Anyway.
Okay, you're changing for the better, but everything isn't a bad thing. Some things just are pet peeves of other people. So everything isn't a drastic, this is going to better you. This is a compromise. Sometimes it is just a compromise you're making for the relationship. But it's like, hey, if you are not making any compromises, why do I have to make compromises that is, like you just said, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just something that's a pet peeve of yours.
But regardless of whether that person, if it's a pet peeve of theirs, or if it's something that is gonna better you,
but it don't always better you. It's just something.
I'm saying, whether it is something that's gonna better you, or whether it's not something that's gonna better you, it's the fact that you have committed to saying, I'm going to make my changes. I'm going to do my part. Both
I get what you're saying. So you're saying, I'm going to do my part to make the relationship better, so that you can't say, hey, well, you didn't try.
Exactly. Because if both people are like, I'm waiting on you. No, I'm waiting on you. No, you go first. No, you go first. Y'all can do that dance forever.
Ever, yeah.
Like, you go first. No, you go first. Like, y'all can literally do that forever. And I'm talking to myself too, because I can say I am definitely, I feel like I've been at that point, but I feel like I'm a little bit there too, just kind of like, I ain't doing nothing unless I see it being done. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, man, and sometimes it get to a point like that, like, sometimes it do get to a point where it's like, all right, you got to put up too, nigga, or shut up.
Yeah, but, you do have to have those talks with yourself where it's just like, you know what? Because, you hear people say a lot, like, choose to love each other every day. Like, choose each other every day. So that day, you really do have to try to make up, even in that moment, try to make up in your mind, like, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part. You ain't going to get it right all the time, but it has to be an effort. And I think that is really the gist. If you could, like, put all relationship problems under one umbrella, I think it would fall up under that umbrella. Just
the effort,
the willingness, and putting that pride and all of that crap to the side. Like,
yeah,
it's hard.
Okay.
All right, we had to take a smoothie break. I don't know, but what do do you feel like the kids, and we can cut this part out if you want, but do you feel like the kids be normal for them?
Yes and no. I think they know, like, that we get into it. Like, I talk to them about it, and I be telling them, hey, y'all need to give it somebody when y'all get older that you don't have to argue all the time with and stuff. Like, somebody that you willing to work out your issues. Like, I talk to them about some stuff that we go through and everything. And I mean, unfortunately, they do hear
More than they should.
Yeah, and see like the arguing and stuff. But I just figure that's part of life. And
I mean-
you help them grow through it and let them know like it's not cool. Me and mommy are regular people. Y'all will see when y'all get older.
Because I think sometimes if they don't see anything, you have
Yeah.
this false reality that
yeah. And I
you
always
just
be
so
saying
oblivious.
that. I always say that. Like I just be like, nigga, I've never seen my parents argue.
Right.
I've never seen them get into it. Maybe 1 or 2 times about something, but it wasn't no arguing.
Yeah, no argument.
It would be like my mom would say something or my dad would get loud, like, all right, Pat, we gonna let that go. And it'd be over with.
Right, Pat.
Like literally. So like yeah. I don't remember a time where I was like, hey y'all, listen to mommy and daddy, you know.
Right.
But then like you said,
I don't know where the heck they arguing at.
because we was never gone.
Right.
And mommy never left. So yeah, them niggas must have had some good arguments in that car.
Some good silent arguments or something.
They must be the silent treatment people.
Right.
Like you messed up, nigga, when I ain't talking to you. But yeah, I mean, I just think that's part of the roller coaster of life and relationships. Like they have to see that, but when they do see it, like I said, I explain it to them. I talk to them about. I sit down and be like, hey man, mommy had an argument and this, that, and the other, and that don't mean y'all need to do this. And I always tell them, when y'all get older, find somebody who you don't have to argue with all the time, you know?
And do you feel, because my kids are babies,
Right.
yours are older, especially Caden when he's 12.
Yeah.
You feel like they gonna feel like they can come to you when they get
Heck yeah, I make that a point. That's the one thing I do love that I noticed that I was doing. Because you know, when you grow up, you be like, I'm not doing this, I ain't doing this. My parents did this, so I ain't doing that, I ain't gonna be like my parents. And then you be trying to go out of your way to not be like, yeah.
And you be them anyway.
Yeah. But the fact that I talk to them, we sit down, we talk, like I don't remember like being daddy. I don't remember daddy like sitting us down, having conversations with us for real, talking and
Right.
like chopping it up with us and stuff. Like
Right.
mommy did it. But for the most part, hers was about church and stuff and about Bible stuff. But
I feel like
nonetheless,
mommy had talked to y'all. Well, finish your point.
but nonetheless, no, I do feel like, and it hit me the other day, like you're doing it.
You're making sure that-
You're communicating with them. They can come to you. I play with them all the time. Like I was just the other day, Kendrick plays so much. I'm like, I would never have been able to go slap my dad in the back of the head and run. Like, so I'm like, he's comfortable enough with me to play with me. So he's definitely gonna be comfortable enough to come to me and talk and stuff. Like now, Ken, Ava, they come to me, they talk about stuff. Caden, he'll talk to me. Caden stay to himself a little bit more than the rest, but I think that's dealing with his autism and stuff. But at the same time, Caden is growing to talk more. He come to me more. Hey, Dad, like Caden literally comes up to me all the time. Like if I'm looking down and out, he'll come up to me, literally pat me on the shoulder, like, you good? You cool? What's wrong? You know, like he'll ask me that. Kendrick, when we come home from work, Kendrick ain't never, well he have, but he usually do it more with Portia, where he'll be like, hey Mom, how was your day at work? You had a bad day? Oh, I'm sorry. Like he literally
Kendrick
talked to her
has
about
a
that stuff.
Sweet heart.
Yeah, he really do.
Very.
Kendrick is very, very sweet.
And he's
And,
always
yeah.
concerned.
Like this morning, their grandmother that had made them breakfast. Ava don't like syrup, so he go in the kitchen and I guess the grandmother was about to put syrup on Ava's stuff. He like, hey grandma, Ava don't really like syrup, so don't put that on her. So like Kendrick is always looking out for people. He's always like Kendrick. He gonna be a sweetheart.
He definitely is.
But
I don't like when Cross cries. I don't like that, Auntie. I don't like that.
Yeah. Ken is, yeah. And he the dude. He always gonna be. He the one gonna be always looking out for people. But yeah, like I said, it hit me the other day, like a month or two ago. Like I'm doing it. I'm doing
That's a
those
small win.
things. It is.
That's a big win.
That's a big win.
That's a big one.
Because that's one thing that I wish that I did have, like that relationship with my dad, where I felt. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't talk to me, but it's just
So
never been.
You don't tell me something about me.
What's up?
I test relationships like that.
You test?
Yes,
What
like
do you mean?
if I feel like that's something that I want from the relationship, whether it be mother, father, brother, whatever, I test it and I just see like. So there have been times where I go to mommy and try to talk to her about mother-daughter things, and same with daddy, just to see like what the response would be.
But see, you
Even
comfortable enough to do that. I haven't hit
It's
that
not
comfort level
comfortable.
to really. Now lately, I will say within the last couple months, me and Pops have like been discussing different stuff, and he has been like saying, just communicating with me more about different stuff, just about life and everything, you know. So yeah, I am getting better at coming to him with stuff. Like when we went to the house the other day, just talking to him about, you know, the kids and stuff and the situation that I'm in and all of that stuff.
And for their generation, it ain't gonna look like.
Yeah, and their generation
Most
was
times.
like, nigga, you know I love you by me providing.
And
It
most times it's
wasn't
not
a
gonna look like
Emotional, let's
Yeah,
sit down
sit
and
down.
talk. And it was, yo, I need you to do what I asked you to do, because you just need to know that I'm doing this for the betterment of you, and you know I love you by me providing for you. Literally, like what's the
I'm
movie?
here
with-
today.
What's the movie with Denzel?
I just watched that clip.
When he was like,
Yeah,
I don't have to
gotta
be
like
that
you.
boyfriend. I ain't gotta like him. He know I love him because there's food on that table and he got a roof and he got clothes on his back. That was literally their understanding of love.
Yeah.
It wasn't no mental, oh, I gotta make sure they're emotionally stable and
Right.
like it wasn't that.
They don't have that verbiage.
Yeah, it wasn't that. And they couldn't be that way back then because it was so much they were trying to save us from.
Hey, look, we about to be doomed because you see this window.
Nigga said we about to be doomed.
We better get parked fast. We better get parked
Oh
fast.
man.
Oh, I forgot. I don't have no defrost. So my windows
Man, you man.
windows is fogged up. Lord have mercy. I got the. You know what though?
But that would do it.
What? I don't think we can turn that on. Turn it on.
Why not?
I don't want no problems.
Man.
Just roll it.
Maybe it'll be fine when we smack some.
There we go. Look at that.
Now they about to hear
Already.
all of that.
Oh. Well, listen, we got to be safe.
Alright, what is the you
Just
said you
one
want
moment, y'all. If y'all hear a lot of wind, we just trying to defrost the windows, okay?
look. It's my paper time, man.
Oh yeah, wipe that thing. All right, because I'm almost